So, welcome to TutorHives' brand new career series, Discover Your Future. We'll be meeting inspiring professionals from various industries to give you a glimpse of what your future could hold. So, in each episode, our guests will share their exciting aspects of their careers, discuss how they discovered their passions, and some of the obstacles that they had to overcome along the way. Now, of course, we're going to get them to share their expert advice for all of you who are eager to follow your dreams and explore different career paths. So, Rita, can you firstly introduce yourself, your job title, and the industry you work in?
Hi, Rishabh. So my name is Rita Kaur, and I work at TikTok as a business sales leader. And the industry that we work in is sort of a cross between media and entertainment, big tech, and advertising.
Cool. So how did you discover your passions to go into the business development side of social media? Because obviously, everyone sees social media, wants to post and be the influencer. You've got on the other side.
Exactly. Yeah. So it wasn't really the pull of social media, although I did really enjoy media studies at A level. I started selling back in my hometown, Derby, when I did a summer sort of position where I was doing door-to-door sales. So imagine that you just sign on as a door-to-door saleswoman for a few months just to make a bit of money. And that's really what opened my eyes to the real world and how it works making money outside of the classroom. And I just fell in love with communicating with people, talking, adding value, understanding what their problems were. I was selling loft insulation at the time, which is not the most interesting of things, but I really felt like I'd helped them as soon as I'd sold them something that kept the house warmer. So from that, I realized I want to spend my day doing something that gives me that kind of energy. So I went into IBM for my first internship placement experience into a sales team. And that was my first corporate sales experience, which again gave me the same sort of feeling of helping people and bringing value.
So that's incredible. You've gone from loft insulation into tech. Now, that's a big step, big change. What advice do you think you'd give to students who are interested in pursuing a similar career and trying to make that step from school life or university life into the tech space?
The biggest advice I would give is to not be so set on a specific role. So when I was at university, a lot of my peers were all applying for consulting firms or banking firms. And I thought that I had to do the same because that's what success looked like. In the reality, there is so many more options out there. So I ended up applying really late to my placement and internship. Because I applied late, I got a lot of rejections. And that really forced me to just apply for random things like marketing. I didn't even know what I was applying for at the time with IBM, but I was sending my CV out to so many different places and interviewing with lots of different firms. And I sort of found sales and marketing through that. So if I was to go back, my advice would be to have that mindset from the beginning. Just don't be set on one role because you don't know what you might not know what you want to do at that age, and you might be sold something that's not right for you. So just apply for so many different things, do internships, have a little work experience where you can, and only through experiencing interviews and being in a role for a few weeks or a few months, you will understand what your passions really are.
How do you differentiate yourself with all the other people going through school, have the same A levels, same skill set, same degree? How can you differentiate yourself? And what are those skills that you think actually could help you stand out from the crowd?
So this was a big realization for me after university and school life, was how much soft skills can impact your career. Soft skills is the way that you communicate with other people, that you network, the way that you make other people feel, and how effective you are at communicating a value or your ideas. And this usually can't be learned in a classroom, but it can be really learned with a group of people or in extracurricular activities. So my biggest advice would have been to my former self is try to focus on those soft skills even during school, because those are the ones that you can't really get grades for, but they can excel you in your career.
So that's really clear. I think that's really great advice as well. Just making sure that you're being in the game and trying it and being in the space. So that's great advice. Now, that's for other people. Based on your journey, the hurdles, the challenges you had to overcome, what advice would you have given yourself to a younger version of you when you were back at school?
there's two pieces of advice that I would give myself. The first one is learn another language. I really wish I did. At the time, I was doing German at school and I was really bored and I did not take it seriously. And now I realize we're living in such a international, globalized world. If you have another language on your resume and you're fluent in another language, it can open so many doors. The other piece of advice, which is applicable if you don't like languages, it's try to at least lean into subjects that you're not comfortable with. And even if you're the type of person that's good at most subjects, try to lean into one that you don't like and you might find boring or you might find a little bit harder. Why? Because most of your real life is about discomfort. And most of your succession is about doing things you're not comfortable with. So if you can learn that when you're in a safe environment like school, and you can learn to put your efforts into something that is not quite interesting for you, as soon as you grow older, you will really excel in that side of your role, because every career has parts of it that is not quite interesting. But if you're used to that and you're okay with learning things that don't excite you, then I think you could be a good all-rounder in your career.
All right, awesome. Thank you for that, Rita. Now, a question I have been burning to ask is, what is the best viral video you've seen on TikTok?
There's many viral videos that I've seen, and it is part of my job to watch TikTok. I can't remember his name, but it's the guy with the afro that takes his hood off in the most random situations. And then everyone's really shocked by him and he starts dancing. So that's my favorite. And the other is I love whale videos. So TikTok always serves videos that you like, and I'm always getting wildlife and whales in Norway or Iceland. But that might just be me.
No, so I get hippos,
Oh, do
cute
you?
baby hippos. And
Oh,
there's
I
this
don't
really
know.
good account with like zookeepers, and it's like they just video hippos, little baby hippos doing cute stuff. Best thing.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I get so much wholesome wildlife, which is interesting, I think.
Final question then. If someone is interested in applying to work for TikTok, are there any good places or resources that you could signpoint them to and say, hey, go check out these opportunities?
Absolutely. So the first, of course, is the website. As always, just look on the website if there's any internships, graduate programs, full-time roles after you graduate as well. The second place is LinkedIn. There's so many TikTok employees on LinkedIn, and I take that advice for any role that you're going for. Don't just apply on the website. Try to find people that work in the company on LinkedIn and reach out to them, because more often than not, they will be happy to have a chat and give you some advice about the industry. And you might even ask them for a referral if you make a good impression.
So that's such good advice. Now, I'm going to ask you one last question for myself. What's the next skill you're going to learn to advance your career?
That's a great question. I just said language, so I would hope I'm trying to learn Spanish, so I'll keep on that. It's been a good few years now. The other skill that I want to learn is I'm currently a leader in TikTok, so I want to learn from other leaders of what makes you a good leader and get the best out of others. So I've spent most of my career so far understanding myself and how to get the peak performance out of myself. And sales is a lot about performance. So now my next stage is, how do I identify how to get the best out of others and really inspire them to do so?
Thank you so much, Rita. That's been fantastic. Really appreciate the time, and that you've done incredibly well and some great advice for all of you listening in. So thank you.
Thank you.